Hi, that is one of the questions which has bothered me which actually bothers me all the time. What is going to happen with the real estate prices at any given moment? And I received also a comment asking what's going to happen. And here is my personal opinion that now the situation is quite inflationary. So the inflation is high everywhere in the world, especially in Estonia with 20% inflation. During those times, commodities are the place for a refuge, and that's energy sector, gold, silver, tangible assets, and also real estate. Because think like this, for example, if you invest in apartment rental, let's say it costs 85,000 euros and you receive a rent of 400 or 450 euros. No matter what happens with the price of the apartment, the rental market is quite stable. The rental price will be more or less the same. So anyhow, you'll be receiving some kind of rent. Okay, maybe it's not going to be 450, but it will be 400 euros. But you can calculate that, for example, you'll get a return on investment of 5.6%. So what happens this year or next year is not that important. But in the longer run, 5 years, 10 years, the apartment will still cost more. Because that's a historical truth that the capitalist economy, it needs to have an inflation at least 2% each year, and with the inflation rises the prices of the real estate too. One interesting aspect is also which economy will fare, like different economies might fare differently. For example, the US has taken a lot of debt, and which is also based on faith. Until everybody believes in the US economy and buys their bonds, then everything is fine. But what happens if nobody buys those bonds? Obviously, the value of the US dollar or like any currency will drop. And I looked into some data. The US has taken a lot of debt, 21 trillion US dollars. And I also looked how much debt Estonia has taken. So debt to GDP ratio for Estonia is really good. It's only 18%. For comparison, German debt to GDP ratio is 50%, which is also good. Everything around 70% or less is okay. But Estonia is in the EU zone, so we don't mint our own currency. So Estonian GDP to debt ratio is not that important. But it's more important how much the whole European Union, how much debt they have taken. And it's quite similar to the debt taken by the US. It's like 14.7 trillion. And it is the third largest economy, the EU economy. Like first one is US, China, then is EU. So another thing which obviously influences Estonian economy more than others is the ongoing war in Ukraine, because nobody is feeling confident if next doors you have like a big threat and the ongoing war, because in case Ukraine loses this war, then Baltics are next, and you kind of feel it. But on the other hand, not that many foreign investors have invested in real estate in Estonia. 90+% of the buyers are local buyers, which are buying with a bank loan, which is given by more or less by the European Central Bank. That's where this Euribor comes with those low interest rates. So the only way I see that there will be a huge drop in real estate prices is, for example, if many people who have bought real estate cannot pay their loans anymore. But it seems kind of unlikely. Maybe some will default, those who have taken too much debt. For those, I will recommend to sell now until the prices are high, because if too many of them start selling, then the prices will drop. That's it. If a lot of Estonians, for example, for some reason don't have work in Estonia, and then they sell their real estate property and move somewhere else in the European Union. But so far so good. The Estonian economy is faring quite well. The technological sector with the startups is employing quite a lot of people. Some have changed careers from hotels, and the hospitality industry have moved to other areas, also the technology area. So the transformation has been quite okay. So I don't foresee any kind of big drops. Maybe slight cooling of the demand, because if everyone who wants to buy an apartment has already an apartment, then kind of the market is saturated. And I don't see that like tens of thousands of people would like to come to Estonia. Some people are coming. It's also interesting what will happen if like 40,000 refugees from Ukraine will leave Estonia. Obviously that will be a dent in the rental market. There will be a lot of available apartments, maybe 5,000-6,000 apartments available in Tallinn, which will drop the prices for the rentals. And that might influence also the property prices for the investment properties. So I foresee that the demand for the new properties will ease, and the market will become more stable. People are not going to pay crazy amounts of money for like old apartments, but the difference between old and new will be bigger. Okay, so that's it. That's my short analysis for June 2022. And like, subscribe, and see you in another video.